Archangel Michael says, there are moments in life where something shifts without our knowledge, where decisions are made in rooms we weren't invited to, conversations take place behind closed doors, and our names are spoken with weight. You may feel the effects without ever knowing the source. That is precisely what happened to you. Recently, a powerful person, someone with influence, control, or spiritual authority, sat at a long table with 11 others. They discussed a matter that directly involves you. But this wasn't a typical meeting. It had the feel of a courtroom, a silent trial, a decision held in secret. Every word they spoke about you carried energy. Some in that room questioned your worth. Others remained quiet, complicit. And yet, one among them hesitated. Because they saw something different in you. Archangel Michael comes forward, you were not forgotten. Heaven was there. And I heard every word spoken. He wants you to know that this wasn't just a corporate or legal discussion, it was a spiritual setup. The earthly realm tried to claim authority over your path, but heaven never surrendered your destiny. You may have recently felt sudden emotional heaviness, confusion, or even a sense that things were shifting around you but you couldn't explain why. That's because this decision is already rippling through your timeline. But you are not helpless. You were never alone. Michael saw the moment when one person in that room tried to raise a concern, perhaps they felt your energy, or remembered a moment where you showed integrity they couldn't ignore. That moment planted a seed that is about to grow in unexpected ways. And here's where it becomes deeply spiritual. This secret meeting didn't go unnoticed in the spirit realm. Heaven convened a mirror gathering, a divine court. Angels stood around as witnesses. Your spiritual record was laid out, not to condemn you, but to protect you. And the verdict that is coming from above will supersede anything man has planned. Type Amen 1918 to get divine justice. Take a deep breath now. You are walking into a season where the unknown will become known. Archangel Michael is removing the veil. God is not only revealing what happened behind closed doors, He is reversing it for your favor. What they discussed about you in secret will not bind you. In fact, it will launch you. They made a decision about you. But now, I am making a decision for you. Get ready. You're stepping into the consequence of a spiritual intervention. And one of the 11 is about to come forward with the truth. While the meeting on earth was unfolding, where words were chosen carefully, and your name floated through the air like a secret being passed, something far greater was happening in the spiritual realm. At the exact moment that powerful decision was being made in your absence, a heavenly courtroom was summoned. Archangel Michael stood watch. Not as a passive observer, but as a divine protector of truth. He saw the earthly meeting for what it truly was, a spiritual confrontation masked as a discussion. And heaven did not sit by silently. As the 11 individuals sat, listening to the most influential voice in the room cast judgment over your future, the celestial courts began to stir. A tribunal of angels was formed. Your soul was called forward, not to be judged, but to be defended. You were not there physically, but in spirit, heaven made sure you had representation. God, the supreme judge, looked upon the scene and saw every intention, both hidden and revealed. Archangel Michael stepped forward and laid out your truth, the battles you've endured in silence, the grace you've extended without recognition, the dreams you've sacrificed to protect others. In this spiritual courtroom, every moment you thought was ignored was recorded. Every prayer whispered in the dark was heard. And now, that record is being used against the accusation that was made in that secret meeting. Yes, someone in that earthly gathering subtly tried to limit you. They used carefully veiled language, maybe about your readiness, your stability, your track record, to plant seeds of doubt. They believed you were unfit, unqualified, or undeserving of something they wanted to gatekeep. Type Amen 1967 to get divine justice. But Archangel Michael, heaven has already spoken a higher truth over you. And that truth cannot be overruled by fear, jealousy, or manipulation. Here's what you need to understand. Heaven's courtroom does not operate on public opinion or flawed perception. It operates on divine justice, spiritual accuracy, and eternal timelines. And the verdict has already been written: you are chosen. You are covered. You are rising. One of the 11 people in that room felt this spiritual presence. They may not fully understand why, but their heart was stirred. They almost said something, almost intervened. That person is now carrying a divine burden. They've been assigned a secret mission, to become your advocate in this very human situation. They will be used by God in the coming days to shift the outcome. It may come through a sudden phone call, a message of support, or an unexpected reversal of a decision. Watch for it. It will feel like divine timing, because it is. Do not be disheartened by what happened in secret. What man tried to whisper in darkness, heaven is about to shout from the rooftops. God has not abandoned you to earthly forces. He has sent angels to your defense, and the outcome is already being reversed. Archangel Michael says, "Stand still. I am fighting for you in realms seen and unseen. The courtroom of heaven has spoken. Now, the earth must bow to that decree. You may not yet fully know who they are, but they've been watching you for longer than you think." This powerful person, the one who initiated the life-altering decision, is someone who moves quietly through rooms of influence. They're connected to authority, perhaps in government, law, business, or even within religious systems. To the public, they are composed, respected, and confident. But in secret, they've taken a deep interest in you. And the most extraordinary part? You remind them of someone they once knew, someone they couldn't save. Type Amen 1716 to get divine justice. This isn't just about position or paperwork. It's spiritual. The connection they feel toward you is mystical. It's karmic. Heaven reveals that you have stirred something in them, something they buried long ago, guilt, regret, admiration, or even unresolved pain. You reflect a part of their own past, someone they once betrayed, abandoned, or lost tragically. But you also offer them a chance at redemption. Archangel Michael says, this decision is not only about you, it is also about them healing something within themselves. They saw your resilience in the face of rejection. They noticed the way you carry pain without bitterness, the way you rise when others would break. To them, this is rare. They tried to hide their growing admiration for you behind formal language. But deep down, they were moved by something divine operating within your spirit. And yet, their decision wasn't purely motivated by goodness. Initially, they may have tried to manipulate your path, to contain you, to make you fit within their vision. But what they didn't realize was that your destiny isn't something that can be boxed in. The calling on your life is from a much higher court. And that's why Archangel Michael has stepped forward, to ensure that your soul is not misdirected by their fear, pride, or hidden agenda. Even so, heaven allowed this person to be part of your path for a reason. And here's the twist, though they tried to control the narrative, you are about to rewrite the script. This powerful person made their decision in front of 11 silent witnesses. But only one in that room understood the full truth. That individual saw through the politics, the spiritual envy, the veiled manipulation. And that person will soon break their silence, because they know you're not meant to be contained. You're meant to be released. Type Amen 6561 to get divine justice. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting. The one who tried to bind your fate is now being confronted by their own conscience, and by angelic presence. Dreams will trouble them. Their peace will be unsettled until they do right by you. And here's the revelation, you are chosen for this test because you carry a frequency that confronts corruption, breaks generational patterns, and awakens sleeping giants. The moment your name was brought up in that room, the energy changed. You were not an object of pity, you were a divine disruption. Archangel Michael says, you are chosen not to please the powerful, but to transform them. Their decision may have tried to shape your future, but heaven's decision will establish your legacy. Let's go deeper, because now, Archangel Michael is ready to reveal something even more mysterious. You already know there were 11 individuals silently witnessing the powerful decision made about your life. But you may not realize who some of them are. And when you discover their identity, everything inside you will shift. These 11 were not random. They were carefully chosen, spiritually aligned, or strategically positioned. Some were there by divine assignment. Others were there by personal ambition or subtle manipulation. Each one had a reason. But here's the truth, at least one of them is connected to you by blood, soul, or past purpose. Yes, someone in that room knows you personally. Maybe they've spoken with you before, or perhaps they've quietly observed your journey from a distance. It could be a family member who never showed their full hand, a former mentor, or someone who used to walk beside you but drifted into other circles. They said nothing that day, not because they didn't care, but because fear held them back. Type Amen 1918 to get divine justice. Archangel Michael says, one among them has been spiritually burdened since that day. Their silence is costing them their peace. Some of the 11 were indifferent. They had no emotional tie to your situation. To them, you were just another name. They chose silence over justice because neutrality felt safer. But neutrality, in this context, is spiritual agreement with oppression. Their silence spoke volumes, and heaven recorded it. A few others, however, were actively hoping that the powerful person would make a decision against you. Why? Because your rise threatens their illusion of control. Your presence reveals what they are not. They remember your strength. Your resilience haunts their insecurity. They smile in public, but inwardly they hope doors will close for you. These are the ones who spiritually plotted against you without ever saying their name aloud. And then, there is one. One of the 11 has been appointed by heaven to break the silence. They're already feeling a divine urge to speak, to reveal the truth, or to support you in a way that will shift everything. They may send a message, submit a report, make a confession, or challenge what was decided in that room. And it will come at great cost to them. But Archangel Michael is with them too. This person is about to be used as a divine key, a vessel that unlocks the next chapter of your calling. They are spiritually bound to your breakthrough. What they witnessed has awakened their conscience, and heaven is calling them to act. Here's the mystical twist, one of the silent 11 had a dream about you before the meeting ever happened. In the dream, they saw you standing in a place of honor, clothed in light, elevated, unbothered by the whispers around you. That image is about to become real. Michael urges you to stay alert. You may recognize this person soon. When they come, they won't say everything outright. But their presence will shift the atmosphere, and their loyalty will become your covering. Remember, not every silent witness is your enemy. And not every loud supporter is your friend. One voice is about to change everything. Watch for the one who steps out of the shadows. Type Amen 7861 to get divine justice. There's something being prepared right now that has your name on it. A letter, an email, a legal file, or a proposal, it's already in motion. You haven't seen it yet, but it's close. It's the result of the decision that was made in that secret meeting, and it holds the potential to impact your life in more ways than one. But here's the warning, everything is not what it seems. Archangel Michael says this document, or message, is designed to look like a blessing, an opportunity, or even a reward. It may come in polished words, professional language, or with a tone of kindness. But behind it, there is a hidden motive, control. This message, this deal, was crafted to direct your steps, to test your boundaries, and to subtly lock you into something that may benefit others more than it will bless you. Heaven reveals that someone in that room pushed for this plan, hoping you would accept it without questioning. They counted on your fatigue, your desire to finally move forward, or your trust in authority. But what they didn't account for was your discernment. What they didn't expect was your spiritual awakening. This is why Archangel Michael was sent to warn you. Heaven is giving you time, divine pause, to examine what is offered before you bind yourself to it. Because once you sign, agree, or commit, it could delay what God is trying to truly release in your life. This message or document might relate to a financial agreement that seems generous but carries hidden limitations. A job or promotion that sounds exciting but will spiritually drain you. A relationship offer that looks promising but has control at its core. A public opportunity that appears empowering but masks manipulation. But here's the key, you don't need to fear it. You simply need to read between the lines, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. Ask heaven to reveal what's concealed. Ask Archangel Michael to hover over every word, every clause, every offer. Because he's been authorized to reveal deception and illuminate truth. And here's the empowering twist: what they meant to use as a leash, heaven can use as a ladder. If you respond with divine wisdom, you'll flip the script. The offer they designed to trap you could become the platform God uses to elevate you, but only if you respond correctly. Type Amen 8875 to get divine justice. Do not rush. Do not be flattered. Do not let urgency override clarity. There is no divine breakthrough that comes with fear, pressure, or manipulation. God's blessings may come with challenge, but they will never arrive in chains. Archangel Michael says, I have seen the plan. I have hovered over the draft. And I am speaking to your soul now. Do not say yes until peace floods your spirit. This deal, this message, this opportunity will not define your life, your wisdom will. And heaven is watching to see how you respond. What's coming may look official. But the only signature that matters is the one God already wrote over your name in heaven's scroll. There is more happening behind the scenes than you realize. The decision made in that secretive meeting didn't just set earthly events in motion, it stirred up an ancient battle in the spiritual realm. From the very moment your name was spoken with power and intent, a war began. A power struggle over your future, your influence, and your divine calling erupted like a storm in unseen dimensions. Type Amen 9861 to get divine justice. You see, your rise threatens systems. Your clarity threatens manipulation. Your alignment with truth threatens people who profit from lies. This is why there has been tension, delay, and even strange emotional exhaustion in your life recently. You've been feeling it, but you didn't yet understand the cause. Now you do. A spiritual war is being fought over your timeline. Forces of darkness, jealousy, deceit, fear, generational curses, are battling to derail you just before a door of divine opportunity swings open. These forces have found human hosts. One or more of the 11 witnesses have unintentionally aligned themselves with darkness. Not because they are evil, but because they allowed their wounds and egos to speak louder than their conscience. Michael warns, someone in that group tried to block your destiny. They smiled on the surface but prayed for your stagnation. They used logic, policy, or protocol to disguise their resistance, but it was rooted in fear. Fear of how brightly you'll shine. Fear of what your voice will awaken. Fear that their influence will shrink in your presence. But the war doesn't end there. You are not without backing. You are not without armor. Heaven has released a counterforce. Not only has Michael been sent to defend you, but ancestors and spirit guides aligned with righteousness have been stirred into action. One of your ancestors, someone who experienced unjust silencing in their lifetime, has interceded powerfully on your behalf. They see your journey as a continuation of their own, and they are fighting for the justice they never received. And here's the twist: this power struggle is actually serving you. Though it feels like warfare, it is sharpening you. Though it's exhausting, it is waking up your spiritual gifts. You're becoming more sensitive, more discerning, more aware. You're seeing people for who they truly are. You're recognizing false doors. You're drawing closer to the voice of God. The enemy hoped this struggle would weaken you, but instead, it is revealing your authority. Type Amen 1712 to get divine justice. Watch for signs of confusion among your opposers. Watch for people withdrawing their support from those who plotted against you. And pay attention to divine timing, because a door that was once blocked will now be forced open by heaven's decree. This is more than conflict. It's confirmation. You are too powerful to go unnoticed. And too chosen to be denied. They made a decision about you, but heaven never surrendered the final word. Archangel Michael now brings forth a decree: your destiny is not for sale. Your calling cannot be negotiated. Your path cannot be manipulated by man-made systems. Though that powerful person made a life-altering decision behind your back, and though 11 others stood silently by, it holds no eternal authority. Why? Because your future is not anchored in their opinion, it's written in the scrolls of heaven. Yes, the decision was real. Yes, the document or message may soon be handed to you. Yes, the impact of their words may already be pressing into your reality. But heaven is now issuing a counter-decision, one that will override, overrule, and overturn anything that was set in motion against your divine assignment. Archangel Michael says, "What they tried to write in ink, God is rewriting in fire." This isn't poetic. It's prophetic. In the courts of heaven, a reversal is being ordered. The rejection, limitation, or confusion they planned for you is being dismantled. What was meant to contain you is about to become the very force that launches you. This is the power of divine justice. God takes what was meant to break you and makes it bow before your purpose. And here's the deeper truth: the reason this happened now is because you are entering a new spiritual rank. You're no longer in a season of waiting, you're in a season of releasing. And before release comes, God exposes anything that would try to falsely claim ownership of you. Type Amen 4561 to get divine justice. What's about to happen will feel like a spiritual jailbreak. Doors that were sealed will suddenly swing open. People who overlooked you will be forced to acknowledge your worth. A conversation held in darkness will be interrupted by a revelation from heaven. One of the very people who agreed to silence will unexpectedly be filled with conviction and speak up on your behalf. Why? Because the hand of God is moving. Heaven is making a public declaration in the Spirit: you are not under their system, you are under divine instruction. The time of being overlooked is over. The time of being underestimated is finished. And the plan they hoped you wouldn't notice? You're not just noticing it, you're being positioned to overcome it. Michael reminds you. Their decision was loud, but God's voice is thunder. And the throne you answer to cannot be shaken by politics, pride, or secrecy. Here comes the empowerment: you don't need to retaliate. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Let heaven advocate for you. Let God promote you without permission from those who tried to control your access. This is a moment of divine realignment. And the outcome is simple. They had their say. Now, it's heaven's turn. You're stepping into territory they didn't think belonged to you. You're about to be seen in rooms where you were once silenced. And the very voice that tried to limit your reach will soon witness your elevation, without ever being able to stop it. Type Amen 1828 to get divine justice. It's already in motion, and nothing, not even the original decision made behind closed doors, can stop what heaven has ordained. Archangel Michael now declares with piercing clarity: a divine reversal is about to manifest. And what's coming next will not only silence those who doubted you, it will shock even you. This isn't just vindication. It's transformation. The storyline is being rewritten, and you're no longer the one waiting at the threshold. You are the one walking boldly through the door. Here's what you need to prepare for. An unexpected twist is about to unfold in the situation you've been most uncertain about. That letter, meeting, or public decision that seemed to lean against you will suddenly shift. A person you never expected, possibly one of the original 11 witnesses, will step forward in public or private and challenge the narrative. And that act will break the power of the agreement made in that room. This isn't speculation. It's revelation. You may receive a surprising message. A sudden apology. A new offer. Or a divine opportunity that completely overrides what was originally planned for you. The very person who doubted you may be the one who opens a door. Or someone they tried to block may rise in rank and favor you, unknowingly fulfilling heaven's plan. Heaven never intended for you to fit in. You were designed to break systems, shift atmospheres, and walk in unexplainable favor. That's why what happens next will look unfair to those who tried to block you, because it will be far greater than what they offered in the first place. Archangel Michael gives a specific prophetic sign. Within 11 days, or connected to the number 11, a door will open. This door will not just restore what was lost. It will multiply what was stolen. Why 11? Because 11 is the number of disorder being brought into divine alignment. It is also the number of those who stayed silent, and now, their silence will be broken by the sound of your elevation. Type Amen 899 to get divine justice. A closed door will suddenly reopen, but on your terms. Someone who was indifferent will suddenly act as a divine helper. A public recognition, breakthrough, or opportunity will come, not by merit in man's eyes, but by divine decree. And the most healing twist? You won't need to fight for it. Your elevation will come quietly but undeniably. It will be undeniable proof that heaven is behind you. Michael's final words. Stand tall. Do not explain yourself. Let them watch. Let them wonder. For what is coming will make no earthly sense, but it will carry heaven's fingerprint. Let every hidden conversation be reversed. Let every attempt to limit you become the platform that reveals you. Let every lie told about you be swallowed by undeniable truth. You are about to rise. And when it happens, it will leave even your opposers speechless. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to be revealed, in power, in purpose, and in divine timing. Type Amen 2788 to get divine justice.